Welcome to all of you. These are the program leaders that I am privileged to work with every single week from all parts of the United States and abroad, and through inventfuture.global. There's actually quite a few more people who aren't on today, but they may pop in. And I welcome you all this morning to the closing of the first Global Innovation Field Trip of 2021. In addition to folks that we have as part of Invent Future Global that support this gift program, I've also invited another special guest, Jim Bruner from the Past Foundation, because he's like brethren to all of us, because he's been on here. I think this is his third gift program, and he's done a phenomenal job at hosting. And so I think he's just part of the family now, and he had to join us. So I'd like to do just a quick round. If everybody would please share your name, your organization, and your country of origin, that would be wonderful. Dr. Melissa Butt, you are on the top of my screen, so I'm going to ask you first to begin. Introduce yourself, your organization, and your country of origin. Sorry.
Thank you, Julie. So I'm Melissa from Discovery STEM Education, which is an educational organisation in the United Kingdom.
Thank you. I might be next. On my picture, I am Julie Shively. I am from the United States, and I operate Innovation World, and I help with the Global Innovation Field Trip. Jim, you might be up.
All right. Hello, as Julie mentioned, I am Jim Bruner. I am light challenged in my office, but I live in Columbus, Ohio in the United States, and I work for Partnering Anthropology with Science and Technology, where I serve as the Sultan of Systems there. I'm also a longtime judge and passionate advocate for brilliant young minds, innovators and inventors. And thank you, Julie, for inviting me. And thank you, Jake. And thank you to all of you for the amazing work you guys did this weekend. I am floored.
Erin?
Thank you. I'm Erin Schachter. I'm the National Director of Development at a Canadian organization called the Learning Partnership. Our mission is to inspire and equip today's students to become tomorrow's problem solvers and change makers. Honored to be here.
Ting?
Thank you, Judy. Hi, I'm Ting from IDE Education, China, and our organization located in the South City in China and hold invention convention events in China. Thank you.
Sherilyn?
I have somewhat of a trilogy by way of explanation, I guess. In a former role, I was in the executive director of the Invention Convention in Ohio, United States, for 18 years. Put an intermission in there to care for my parents of 10.5 years. So I'm new to being back in this world and be part of Julie's initiative, which I'm not only proud and honored, but just joyful about. So if you count that I've been working with Julie again for several months, you have to go back more like 30 years with a little intermission. So I am whatever she needs me to be and whatever I can bring to this organization and this effort. We're still working on a title.
Oh, no, we're not. I understand that you are the ambassador of Epic Ideas.
I love it.
And there you go.
There you go.
There you go. Ambassador of Epic Ideas.
Claire?
Hi, my name's Claire Evans, and I run an invention education program in Chile called Yo Invento. And in South America as well, we run it in other countries, in Argentina, in Costa Rica, and Guatemala.
You had some wonderful students on this event. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Antonius?
Hi, my name is Antonius. I'm work in Korea from Indonesia. So Korea is the organization that concern on social enterprise to empower kids, youth, and educators. Thank you.
Thank you, Antonius. As many students across the world would say, Dr. Jake, or did they say Professor Jake?
My name is Jake Mendelson. My mother told me that I should always try to work with people who are better than I am. And now I am working with 20 people who are better than I am. So you all have made my mother very, very happy. Thank you.
Noor?
Yeah, hi, my name is Noor. I'm the co-founder of a company called Sotero. I'm based in Abu Dhabi. Been here for a couple of decades. And my primary role is actually to try and develop the culture of innovation and hands-on learning with children, and bridge that with the industry. So that's really where I'm focused on. And I'm really honored to be part of this fantastic group. Thank you.
Thank you, Noor. Arturo?
Hello, everyone. I'm Arturo Mendez. I am in Monterrey, Mexico. I work for Tec de Monterrey, which is a major high school and university and graduate school in Mexico. I'm a teacher. I'm also a learning enthusiast, and I'm a football coach. And but more than that, I have just become your fan of all of the kids and everyone that shares ideas here. So thank you very much.
Arturo, you look a little bit different than the last time I saw you in this 24-hour period. Did you not?
Well, today I shaved. I shaved because I just brought the kid inside me, you know. So yeah.
Very good, thank you. Lisa?
Okay, thank you, Julie. So I'm Lisa from Korea, which is based in Indonesia. So I feel so lucky and happy to meet all of you guys. I call it the Avenger team. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Preeti?
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. So, hey everyone, this is Prateek. I'm from India. I'm the founder of Makers Dunia, and our motive is to come up with more consumers instead of more creators. Sorry, to come up with more creators instead of consumers. And we are working hard to bring technology and STEM education among the curriculum of Indian education system. And I'm so privileged to be the part of such wonderful organization where we are connected with the entire world and the companies who are working in different continents as well as different countries to just bring innovation in the life of students.
Wonderful, thank you. And you had a large block of students last night, or my last night, your morning, I guess. And they were wonderful as usual.
Thank you.
Hold on one moment. Somebody's raised their hand.
I changed my background to the Avengers Tower. I really like that designation.
I have a question for all of you. And, you know, I thought of this question yesterday, was further inspired by the teen panel that happened today, just listening to them and the positivity through all that we've gone through in the last year. And I really want to focus on positivity with this question. And as significant as the impact of COVID has been on every one of our lives and our livelihoods, I would wish that each of you could tell me something that you feel good has come from the pandemic this past year, whether it relates to your family, your work, your future. Share with us something good. And anybody can start.
Yeah, so like, if I may start.
Sure.
Okay, so like during this pandemic, the one thing that has been, that India has achieved is students, they are more comfortable with digital education. Because so far we are like lacking in the digital education, but pandemic has educated students how to use internet, how to research their work on Google, and specifically how to use devices for their. So definitely during this pandemic, India has grown more into digital education.
Thank you, Prateek. Claire, I
Thank
think you were trying
Yeah.
to say.
I'll jump in there. Yeah. I mean, for me, it's been a very, very productive year, and I think we extended the project far wider than we had ever thought we would. Having been based in one small region of Chile, through this virtual connection, this virtual network, we were able to actually reach out to students in other countries and run the same course that we run in this particular area of Chile. We were able to run it in Argentina, and we ran it in Costa Rica and Guatemala, and we're able to run an invention convention combining bringing in students from all of these countries, which this was something that I never imagined that we would be able to do. It was never on the cards, but now our vision for the future is so much broader, and this was also largely inspired by the work that we've been doing with Invent Future Global, so that really has inspired us to just reach out. And I think students are becoming so adept at presenting online, at talking online, at communicating across the world. I think it's actually been very, very fruitful.
Okay. I just want to actually, reflect on something that happened the place where I sit. It's we're in the UAE, and this was the time we launched Hope, the mission during the time of despair, like the world. We launched this, the space program called Hope, and Dubai, or the UAE, actually held the first in-person, I think, event, which was called GITEX, where the technology event, one of the largest technology events in the region, which actually held in person. That was an achievement, but the reason that it was a special achievement for me was I identified a couple of people from that event who were actually, winners of a certain pavilion, and they presented at the IFG. I think there was the Rubik's Cube people. I don't know whether you've seen their presentations, the zoo. So the way I look at it is, instead of going, trying to do innovation within, this was a fantastic time to actually attract and showcase, being almost in the center of, equidistant for the southern and the northern hemisphere. So that was, I think, the fantastic thing that happened this year.
If I may, for me, it's been the validation that for too long, our culture has taken connection and empathy and being able to be together for granted. And we were living in a downward cycle of distraction. And now people realize what a valuable thing to be able to be seen and connect and want to know more about the world and can't. That's the one positive thing about global pandemic, is that people remember we actually do need each other and we need to work together. And we're watching the fruits of that unfold here. And Noor, I actually owe you a debt of gratitude, because 2 gifts ago, a group of kids from Dubai did a presentation on how they would put a lunar base in place on the moon. And that's where one of the seeds of Project Martian here at Mezzocello actually came from. I'm like, oh, if I just put a dome over my garden, that came from your kids. That's a positive thing, to be able to connect and inspire each other despite a global pandemic, is the very best of humanity. And that's my positive.
Thank you.
And for us in the UK, it's been a very similar situation to Claire. So we had started to do some global work, but having the pandemic and doing lots more online things, and children having that opportunity to be at home and have an online platform more often, because that's what they're used to doing, has just meant that we can do a lot more global work, and global opportunities have become a lot more accessible to a lot more young people. And the highlight of that for me really was today, seeing the teen panel. And that just really, it really showed how powerful that could be. Those young teens from 6 different countries speaking to each other and talking about problems with remote learning and discussing how they could solve those problems and sharing ideas with how different countries are doing different things and what they think educational leaders in their countries should be doing and what their global leaders in their countries should be doing. That was that I think that's truly amazing, just to young people to really have lots of global opportunities. We were used to helping a handful of children each year to have some global opportunities to collaborate with other children from across the world and solve problems once a year. And now that's becoming a lot more easy to do, and children are tapping into that and really embracing it. I think that's absolutely fantastic, and that's what I think the highlight and the most positive thing is, to have come out of this pandemic and things going online.
Bravo.
Yeah.
I'll add to what Melissa said, actually with the words of one of our team panelists. When we met them before we ever went on Gift, we had just a meet and greet, first time they'd ever met each other, which was about 8 days ago. And I asked them, I said, has anything good come out of it? And Emily Louise from Chile said that in her particular country, which is getting shut down again totally next week, she found it both sad but good that relatives in her own personal family who didn't really live that far away but had never connected recently now did. And although they could have, reached out to each other prior, they never did. And now they do, and her family bonds have become greater. That was one of their give backs. And my particular one is nothing like a global pandemic to remind us that we're all in the same boat. Doesn't matter where we're from, it's a global pandemic. And none of us can, usually when people meet or visit, they talk about each other and, oh, I'm from here and I'm from here. Well, we're all in the global pandemic boat. And it reminded of the things that we share, the things that we are fighting in our lives, they're fighting in the same way. How do I do this? How do I do that? And there's nothing like something that levels everybody to realize, oh yeah, they got the same problem. And that's where empathy starts in humanity. And that's why I say typically it's really easy to define how we're different. And on this one, it's a level playing field, and we're all trying to help each other out in what is turning into a marathon, and that's okay. But I kind of look at it as a relay race. So we're gonna run our leg and then hand off and run our leg and hand off. But it focused on, although it began as a negative, how we are all similar and fighting toward the same goal, and therefore can uplift and support each other.
Yeah, thank you, Sherilyn. There's so many polite people that raise their hands. I need to address the hand raised people. So Arturo, I unmuted you or asked you.
Thank you. Yes. Well, the way I think about this is that all of the situation is bringing us not only a chance, but a challenge of reinventing ourselves, of reinventing society. We are finding out new ways to communicate effectively. We're redefining empathy, resilience, respect. But I've heard like so much, like when the 2020 was like close to an ending, all of this, everybody like saying like, I just want this year to finish. And I said like, well, I don't want to forget about 2020. I think this is a year to remember. And honestly speaking, I am really positive that this upcoming year will be a year in which, like, as a global society, we all work together and we all see to a horizon in a different way that perhaps we have not been able to think about. And I think this is a historical moment and a milestone for humanity. And well, one of those things was the appearance of Gift. And I honestly think that when I was invited initially, I still remember that email from Jake that said like, well, we can just like sit down and wait for it to pass, or we can just stand and work and do something about it. So I think that's a very, very good example, and these experiences, the teen panel, as Melissa said, is an example of how that reinvention is so valuable, and I think we are very fortunate in being able to witness and be somehow active and drivers in this. So thank you.
Thank you, Arturo. Ting?
Yeah, thank you. And I find out that maybe 1 year ago, without the COVID-19, how many times can we meet and discuss how we can work closely together? Maybe once, twice, maybe at the most 3 times. But now we from different places and we talk, we work so closely, and we meet every week and to work together to provide a better experience for students, for educators. So I think that the virus situation make us even more closer, even closer with each other and work closer. So we are giving us a chance to invent some brand new experience. Maybe we are forced to do that, but we made it. So I think that is one change. And another thing for students, I think that this situation makes us to think about, maybe we are not meant to do that, but we finally did that. That is, we promote the education equality. Some students, they're not able to travel before. They may not afford that. There are so many Chinese students, they cannot do that because we really faced this situation before. But now they can join these events and experience it online. So I think that would be 2 very positive things I can think of. Thank you.
Thank you, Ting. Erin?
I'm in complete agreement. I just want to say a big ditto to much of everything that's been said so far, and what Ting was just saying captures so much of what I wanted to reflect on. Really, I think that this has pushed us or catalyzed changing how we achieve impact, and also through I think a more democratized lens and recognizing that we're all interconnected, and how can we collaborate. And I think really one of the things that it's demonstrated is our adaptability and resiliency, and our young people's adaptability and resiliency. And I think that is so, I would just say it leaves much hope to know that in dire circumstances we can thrive, and continue to wonder about how can we be empowering or shifting who has power, as we redefine our systems moving forward, because I think it's been unfairly distributed historically, and we have started to hear from some folks who we can all agree deserve the mic.
Thank you, Erin. Lisa?
Okay. Yeah, so actually all already mentioned, but I just want to add, like, there's always a blessing in disguise. So it's like, despite of this COVID-19 pandemic, so there are way better things that we can do, even though we are working from home, let's say right now. And so also mentioned by the other friends previously that because of this pandemic, we can meet many people from around the world. And it's like, if we want to maintain being creative and we want our students to be creative and innovative, so there's always a lot of way to do it, and like nothing can stop us from keep being creative. Thank you.
Thank you. And Antonius?
Yeah, the very first thing that I got very positive that I meet all of you during the pandemic. So we never meet physically before, and then after that we can connect each other. And then the second one, so firstly we initiate Korea is only based in Indonesia. The next 6 months, about 2 years ago, we moved and served to Southeast Asia countries, and then we have to change the logo. And then during the pandemic, now we reach about 5 continents at this moment. And then we plan to launch the new logo as well, and it will be 21st January. So yeah, hopefully we can work together, collaborate together. Thank you.
Thank you, Antonius. Jake, have you had an opportunity to contribute?
I think I've talked quite enough, so it's fine. I have nothing to add. This was a superb collection of thoughts and comments.
Has everyone else had an opportunity to share their positivity about life now with COVID? I would like to then say that I think that this opportunity to meet each of you and become friends and colleagues with each of you and learn from you would not have happened or would not have happened as quickly, certainly had the pandemic not occurred. And so for that, I am thankful, and thankful that each of you feels invested in coming together with all of the rest of us to promote youth innovation across the world. And I hope we, as was mentioned to the panel today, the team panel, that I think Sherilyn was telling them that she saw the connections and that she betted that they would all stay in touch. I can't imagine not doing the same with you.
Thank everyone
you.
for joining me in a stand-up. Julie.
Thank you for joining us today.
Sending virtual hug to Julie.
Happy belated birthday.
Happy
Belated Venture Day.
Yeah. And a big dab for you.
Go April.
Bye, friends.
Bye.
Bye. Nice meeting you.
Well done, you guys. Spectacular event.
Well done.
Bye.
Happy birthday again.
Bye. Thank you.
Well done.
Bye.